All right, Shalom. Giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, I'm just responding to this video put up by Elder Karata Zaba, the head of GMS Baltimore. And every time I hear this argument, and I'm talking about, when guys that think that your mother have to be an Israelite with your father is what qualifies you to be an Israelite. Any dude that teaches that, you're letting me know the low level of understanding that you truly have. Very, very low in understanding. And the argument is getting played out, and it should have been put to rest because it's actually easy to debunk. So this reprobate, he decides to go over to one of the brothers' camps. I'm not sure where this is at, and he starts to insult them and call them a bunch of Mamzers because their mothers happen to be of another nation. So that means that they're non-Israelites. And, you can easily debunk that whole argument, just by, knowing the scriptures and the genealogies in the law. And I'm going to pretty much do that in this lesson just to quell all the nonsense, so people can actually know and understand. All right, you are what your father is, and that's it. That's all that counts. So anyway, let's let me play the intro clip that the brother posted in the production.
They ain't even black. They Mamzers. They got white. They got white relatives. Look at this.
You do.
Look at this. This man got
right?
Look at this. So why white people ain't in the camp? Do y'all got a white man in the camp? Yes or no? You ain't teaching me anyways, whatever. So look at this. They don't look. He just said it wasn't about color, and they don't even got white people in the camp. Why don't you got a white man in the camp? I heard you. Do you have white people in the camp?
Listen to me, brother.
So anyways, look. So look, this is what's going on. Look at them. They mix with white people. But they mix with white people when they promote black people. Y'all mix. Y'all ain't black. Y'all mix. Listen, y'all go by the seed of your father, right? Right? Correct? A Mamzer. Somebody with a heathen mother or vice versa. Get the blue letter. Let's go to the Hebrew. Get the Hebrew. No, you asked me what mix was. So we're dealing with a Mamzer is what's mixed. Right.
Define exactly as Mamzer. Define it.
A heathen mother. So let's get an example. If my mother is white, if my mother is white, look. So if I got it, so look, if I'm not in Sakari. I don't give a fuck about Sakari. Anyways, look. I don't give a damn about Sakari. I'm not in Sakari. I don't affiliate with no camp.
Oh, so he's the reject. Okay, I remember him now. This is the reject that fell out with the Sakari camp. I remember him going on Vocab's live stream and explaining himself. Any reprobate that'll go on Vocab's platform, you're clearly you're a bug out. All right, so yeah, this guy. He's a reject. All right, a reprobate. Matter of fact, let me get this, because a lot of rejects, what they tend to do is once they fall out, a lot of the stuff that they were taught, they just stop believing it because their pride is hurt. That they've been, casted out. So they'll start to throw away some of the things that they taught, and they just, go along the way and really, they just, they fizzle out, they vomit up, what they consumed. So let me get this in Titus real quick. Titus 1:15. And it says, unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. And he probably from the get-go didn't really believe everything. He believed, just for a certain season, but it really wasn't mixed with faith. So once he got the boot for whatever reason, he was offended, of course, and the things that he thought he believed, he really didn't believe. And it took for that to happen, for that unbelief to fester in. A lot of these dudes that fall out or get kicked out, they really were never true believers. They were just the perfect timing for something to happen, or in a certain offense to take place. And then the unbelief, sets in, Then all of a sudden, yeah, these guys are not the true teachers. They're wrong on this. They're wrong on that. So you really didn't believe from the get-go, or else you would continue at least in what you were taught, which the scriptures do say, continue the things which thou hast learned. All right. And have assurance of what you learned and knowing who you learned it from. But a lot of castaways or reprobates, that's one of the main things that they don't do. They don't continue in the doctrine. They throw everything out. That's a sign that the Lord is pretty much leaking them of their oil, and then eventually they're gonna just dry the hell out. Like them Fopi dudes. It says they profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny Him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. So he pretty much is throwing everything out, because even Sakari don't teach that. All right, they don't teach that if your mother is a heathen, then you're not an Israelite. You're a Mamzer. Because if that's the case, then Al-Azhar, he wouldn't be the chief, quintessential chief high priest. All right, Hassad, he wouldn't be, the rank that he got. He wouldn't even be in the camp. So it is ridiculous, man.
Anyways, right, I wasn't even telling you. I was up here talking this. So anyways, look, this was so crazy. You got Mamzers teaching love the black man, which is cool, but you just got to admit that you're a Mamzer. What color is Christ? What color was Christ?
And this guy, he's carnal. So we're just going to argue about appearances. You're not going to accept the fact that you're going to have Israelites that look like the other nations because they were scattered among the nations. That's how carnal this guy is. He's bugged out. You got to be black all around. Your mom and your dad got to be black, or you're not an Israelite. So he might as well go join Fopi, man. Go get with Fopi and them. Bug out some more. So let's let's deal with this. Because he even told them to pull out the blue letter. Well, do you understand? This is how I know he doesn't have the discernment. The spirit ain't working with him. Sometimes the blue letter goes off, even when you look up certain words. The definitions, I have different definitions, and some of the definitions will be wrong. One of the things that when you look at the definition for the word fornicator, it'll in some of the definitions, it'll actually say it'll say if you deal with a harlot, you're a fornicator. And that's where I see Nate and them getting their point from. But that's not the case. A fornicator is either two things. A fornicator is one who commits spiritual fornication, meaning when you worship another idol, you commit adultery against the Most High. And two, fornication is basically when you are you're engaging in physical adultery. A woman that's married, When you're dealing with a woman that's married, you commit adultery. That's fornication, and you're constantly doing that. You jumping from this woman to that woman, and all those women got husbands. Basically, you're a serial adulterer, and that's what a fornicator is. All right, it doesn't mean you go and dealing with this prostitute. You give her money, and then y'all exchange. She give you service for it, and then you bounce. That's a harlot. That's not a wife. She's a harlot. So they go off on that. They go off on sometimes they even the word hell. You look up the definition in Hades. It talks about the god of the nether realm. Now, yeah, that's according to the mythology. You know, it can go back to that. You know, but we know that is ultimately Hades is talking about the grave or pit, which is where everybody go, where everybody's body go when you die. You go into the grave. You go into the ground. They put you in a tomb or a sepulcher. All right. So anyway, let's deal with that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23 real quick. Deuteronomy 23 and 2. It says, "A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord." So this is where you'll see the word mamzer, all right, for the word bastard. All right, mamzer, which is actually the correct way of pronouncing it in the Hebrew is mamazar. And it says right here, this is where they go off, the Strong's definition: born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother. That's not a bastard. And we're gonna show that, because if this is the correct definition, then David will be disqualified as a Jew, and he should not have been on the throne of Judah. All right, he shouldn't have been king over Israel. We're gonna point out Ephraim and Manasseh. They should have never been accounted as one of the 12 patriarchs, because who their father had 2 children with, who their father had them 2 with. That would disqualify them from even being of the 12. Okay. And I'm gonna show other examples, but let's look at the definition: bastard, child of incest, illegitimate child. Bastard, and that's the new way, the new age definition of it. You know, pretty much incest babies. You know, they develop that syndrome. You know, that child, you know, of an illegitimate marriage. You know, 2 siblings, you know, given in marriage. You know, that's an abomination, and you're a child of that. You know, that in that sense, yeah, you would get put to the side, so to speak. All right, but the actual pure definition, it means if your father happens to be of another nation, but your mother happens to be an Israelite, you're a bastard. In the registry, in the records, in the genealogy, the records of the genealogy, you would be a heathen, because you are what your father is. And that's the first thing I'm gonna prove. So let's read the last definition. It says, born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother, or vice versa. And that's not correct, and that's where he got this from. Okay. If your father is an Israelite, you're an Israelite. If your mother's the Israelite but your father isn't, you're not an Israelite. All right. The early Herodians, they were Mamzers. Those were they were tares. Those were actually Edomites, but they blended in through marriage with the Israelite woman, and they were converted. So that's why they were being called Idumeans. So this dude, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But let's go here. Let's go to Ezra. This is Ezra 2 and 59. It says, and these were they which went up from Tel Mala, Tel Harsa, Cherub, Adon, and Emer, but they could not shew their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel. So why is it focused on the father's house? Because the father, he determines the family line. He determines the lineage. And I'm going to go to this translation, the Legacy Standard Bible. And it says this. Now these are those who came up from Telmala, Tel Harsha, Cherub, Adon, and Emer, but they were not able to declare their father's households and their father's seed, whether they were of Israel. So even in this translation, it's showing you that the seed determines who you are, and that comes from the father. So you are what your father is. Hence, why when you go to let's go to 1 Chronicles. The generations of David. First Chronicles 2 and verse 2 and 12. And it says, and Boaz begat Obed. Now, who was Boaz's wife? What nation was she from? A lot of wicked Israelites that teach this doctrine, they'll make Boaz's surrogate wife. They turn her into an Israelite to keep their doctrine right, but it actually makes it wrong, because you can't turn her into an Israelite because she wasn't an Israelite. Ruth was a Moabite, and they happen to use a Moabite woman as a surrogate to preserve the line of Judah. All right. The brother, he had passed, and he was not willing to fall up under that law. But you got to get disrespected because you won't raise up seed for your brother. Deuteronomy 24. Let me see. I think it's the next one. Yeah, Deuteronomy 25 and 5, it says, if brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And that shows you right there. The seed is determined by the father. Because if your brother who came from the same father as you, he dies childless, you gotta fill in for him. So that means that y'all both are from the same lineage of who? Your father. Okay. It says, and if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of the city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders and loose his shoe from off his foot and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto a man that will not build up his brother's house. All right. So your brother's house, your father's house, that all goes back to the seed. The seed is what determines the house. So in the case of Boaz, that he was a man of integrity, and he followed that law, and got with Ruth, and they had a seed, which his name was what? And Boaz begot Obed. All right, Ibad. And Ibad begot Jesse. And Jesse begat his firstborn Eliab, and Abinadab the second, and Shema the third, Nathaniel the fourth, Radai the fifth, Ozem the sixth, David the seventh. So this was his family line. And there happened to be a heathen mother that was a part of that. So that would disqualify all these men after Obed. So you dudes that teach that, you don't understand the scriptures at all, man. You're really on a low level. So let's deal with Ephraim and Manasseh. Hold up, I think this might be in another chapter. This is when I think when the two got blessed. Yep. So it's Genesis 41 and 50, and it says, and unto Joseph, and Joseph was where? He was in Egypt, so he wouldn't have been around no Israelite woman. Okay. And unto Joseph were born two sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of Onber, unto him. And Joseph called for the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for the Most High power said, he have made me forget all my toil in all my father's house. And that's what Manasseh mean, made to forget. And the name of the second called Ephraim, Aparium, for the Most High have caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. So he had Ephraim and Manasseh with an Egyptian. So that would mean that these two would not be part of the 12. They would be disqualified. They're Mamzers. That means that their descendants would not be allowed in the congregation. So you see how ridiculous it is when you teach that. All and Joseph, his name is mentioned in Revelation 7, where it talks about those that are called, all right, that are sealed, the 12,000 from each tribe. They're mentioned. You're not going to see Ephraim, but Ephraim is the head, all right, because Joseph, the Lord had Joseph bless Ephraim as the firstborn, even though Manasseh was born first. Ephraim, he was born second, but the blessing fell upon him. So he became the head over the north. But Joseph is who's mentioned in Revelation, the 7th chapter. So that will represent Ephraim. So this is another rebuttal, okay? You just got to know these scriptures, know the history. Now let's go to a real example of a Mamzer. And this Mamzer, he violated, and the Most High dealt with them in front of the whole camp. It's Leviticus 24 and 10. It says, and a son of an Israelitish woman whose father was an Egyptian. So this is a bastard right here. This is an example of that. Went out among the children of Israel. and this son of the Israelitish woman. So it wasn't even calling him an Israelite. Why is this not calling him an Israelite? Because his father is a Egyptian, an actual Mizraimite, a Martazorian. And the son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. So they got into a fist fight. And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of the Lord, because that's in him anyway. He's a damn heathen. And cursed. And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shilemith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. So there's a simple ass woman from the tribe of Dan. Just she got with a damn heathen, that one of the heathens that made it over, through the sea, because it was a mixed multitude. You had some Egyptians that came through there, and they put him in a ward that the mind of the Lord might be shewed them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, bring forth him that have cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head, and let all the congregation stone him. Because the Lord ain't gonna tolerate no disrespect towards his name. All right, his name is to be hallowed and is to be feared. That heathen thought he could just say what he said against the name of the Father, man. And the Lord made an example out of him in front of Israel. He used the heathen to make an example. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, whosoever curseth his God shall bear his sin. And he that blasphemeth the name of the Lord, he shall surely be put to death. And all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well the stranger, as he that is born in the land, when he blasphemeth the name of the Lord, shall be put to death. All right. So this is a very retarded argument. And all he's doing is just trying to insult those brothers and get up under their skin, because he's not correct. The blue letter doesn't have it correct. You try to look up Esau. They say that Esau means hairy. That's wrong. It doesn't mean hairy. Sha'ar or sheer means hairy. So it's real easy to debunk this whole argument. Any dude coming with that Mamzer argument, you can put it to rest easily. Okay. Rehoboam, he shouldn't have been allowed to sit on the throne because his mother was an Ammonitess. Jephthah, he shouldn't have been a judge in Israel. Okay. Because his mother, they tried to put him to the side because he was born of a strange woman. She was a harlot. She could have been a heathen woman that was a prostitute. But the Lord made him judge over Israel. They came running. They casted him off. Like, man, you're not with us. You're not born in the same household as us. You was born of a strange woman, a hoe. But when all hell broke loose and it got hot for him, they ran right to Jephthah because he had a reputation. And he became judge. The Lord made him judge over Israel. So please stop with this, man. So I'm gonna end off with that one, man. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shai, and until the next one, Shalom.